Welcome back, everyone.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Welcome back. We're just getting underway, getting the game set up for game number 2 between Just Us Guys and Vicious and Delicious. Big booty, as we just saw. A little bit of a rough game for Just Us Guys there.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, Silky. Just right from the beginning, weren't really able to do anything. A lot of their picks really ended up being irrelevant. Ender on the Lulu in the top lane really didn't do much. Athena on the Veigar. Veigar's not a bad pick by any means right now, very strong, but just wasn't able to use it to its full potential, wasn't able to scale it as much as it can. And they're definitely going to need to make some changes for game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to ban the Mord, especially if you're on red side. That was easy pick, first pick for Vicious Delicious on the blue side. They're going to take that Mord 10 times out of 10. They know how to play it, and even without the Kog'Maw, they can play without the Blitzcrank. They've played it before to much success. You just got to ban it. The OP champ, probably the most overpowered champion in the game. They just had a feature, or there wasn't a feature by Riot, but there was a feature by another kind of esports news website. They asked the pro players if they could change one thing about the game, they would do. And half said TP. They want to change TP because it's boring. I agree. Hate it. And half said Mordekaiser. Yeah. The other half said Mordekaiser. I agree.
Yeah, they've got a good point. And then Faker said he just wants everyone to get along. He said less toxicity.
Yeah, Faker, the best player in the world.
And so humble.
If he's going to be crushing guys, he doesn't want them to be fighting each other. He wants them to be happy while he's crushing them. Definitely a great guy.
I suppose.
Definitely a great
guy.
That's
one way of putting it.
Yeah, absolutely. So just what do they ban then? There's a lot of things you can ban against Vicious and Delicious, but what do Just Us Guys need to ban here coming out on the blue side this time?
Well, obviously you got to ban the Mordekaiser pick. But then here's the thing. Once you ban the Mordekaiser, you don't really need to worry about banning something such as... You don't need to necessarily worry about banning the Kog'Maw, because that's a result of picking the Mordekaiser already, so you don't need to ban that. You don't need to ban away the Blitzcrank from Mo Money again, because that's for the Mordekaiser. So if you ban the Mordekaiser, that takes out those 2 bans there. But then as well, you got to spend a ban on Tefreaker's Zac.
Absolutely. I think those are the 2 must bans. The only reason I say that they need to ban Mordekaiser is because they don't play it themselves. Right. So being on blue side, you never really want to ban Mordekaiser or the most OP champion. You're going to force the red side to do that because you want to take it with the first pick. Right. They can't because they don't play it. As far as I'm concerned, Dr. McFly hasn't been playing much more Mordekaiser. Could be wrong, though. They could leave it open. They could try their hand at it. But the thing I'm worried about then is that Vicious and Delicious plays a lot of Mordekaiser, which also means they know its weaknesses, right? Yeah. They know what's strong against it, and I feel like they could exploit it. So it's going to be a tough one. I think they just ban out the Mordekaiser here, the Zac for sure, and then they let some of the other picks go through. Maybe they let Poof the Sheep back on the Gangplank. Yeah. He's fine on the Gnar as well, too. Or but I think you just give some of the picks back to Freakers. You'd give them back the Gragas or the Elise.
Yeah, you don't really need to worry about...
I guess.
Yeah, I think you don't need to worry about giving up both. The Gragas and Elise, I suppose you have all those understandable bans, but in this game too, not understandable bans over Zac and Mordekaiser. It will be interesting what they choose to do with the third ban. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just Gangplank, because again, it's still a very strong champion.
Yeah, I think in Worlds 88% ban rate.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then...
Good numbers.
Good numbers, I was paying attention. I had to wake up early for that one, 6 a.m. this morning, to get those cold hard stats. But
well, some of us had class this morning, Silky.
That's okay. I'm more of an independent studier.
Oh,
Big
yeah,
booty,
sure
right?
you are.
I am, for sure. So I think Vicious and Delicious, if they get banned the Mord, I think it's just more of the same from them. They like to play these kind of team fight-oriented comps. Yeah. Right, so they definitely versatile team, one of the most versatile teams, and I think that's why they're near the top.
Yeah, it's not like they're a one-trick pony team that can only play Mordekaiser, because after they played it the first time, they have seen it get banned against them maybe half the time. Sometimes teams that have slipped through to their chagrin, but that they later find out. But even when Mordekaiser is banned, we usually see formally he plays a good Ashe. We've seen him play a good Jinx. They're still very effective on other champions that aren't Mordekaiser. They can still win games that way.
Absolutely, and Poof the Sheep, one of the hardest carriers in the league as far as I'm concerned.
I'd say so.
I know a lot of teams hold him in high regards, maybe as one of the strongest, if not the strongest top laner in SKL, so he's definitely one of the most versatile players on one of the most versatile teams. It's really hard to ban these top teams. They got such deep champion pools, and it's just interesting to see. I think we're going to get started right away. if the teams are ready to go, and then we'll get right into the pick ban between Just Us Guys and Vicious and Delicious. Who are you looking to carry Just Us Guys out of this sort of semi-little slump here after game 1?
You know, we've seen Athena have some good games when he gets the Renekton, but unfortunately, I think that's kind of a no-brainer ban here for Vicious and Delicious.
It was the first ban for them last game.
Yeah.
Expecting the same. Athena, I would say, I don't want to discredit any of the other members, but I think that he is the strongest player on the team.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's really a big secret.
And there is the Renekton ban.
Yeah. We're having a little bit of issues with our client here. We'll get this straightened out here. I'll just I'll tell you what the bans are. And as we predicted, the Gangplank, Mordekaiser, and Zac ban coming out, and the Renekton, Varus, and Lee Sin for Vicious and Delicious. So the exact same bans from Vicious and Delicious against Just Us Guys.
Yes, as was predicted by Silky and I, Gangplank, Mordekaiser, Zac, and on the side of Vicious and Delicious, we see the same bans that they came out with last game. We're seeing Renekton, Varus, and Lee Sin. At this point, I mean, they won that last game so handily. Why would you bother changing your bans? There was nothing that was particularly effective on the side of Just Us Guys that would need to be banned against. I guess they could have considered the Vigar ban, but they're just going to stick to what they have. For Just Us Guys, we see Odin coming in with the first pick, Jarvan. And we're going to switch back.
You get to see our pretty mugs once again.
Hi, lucky you guys. As you see, Silky, we have Odin first picking the Jarvan here. I suppose he didn't necessarily play that poorly on it last game. It's a good comfort pick for him. Still a decent champion, so I'd say that's an understandable first pick.
Yeah, Tafreaker is bringing out the Gragas, which was banned against him last time. Probably his second most played jungler behind Zac. But I think Gragas has just dropped in kind of OP-ness. He's not the best jungler in the current patch, so still Elise. Strong, but yeah, Elise, Rek'Sai, Lee Sin.
Yeah.
But Greg is still a pretty good utility jungler, can do it all, can disengage, can engage pretty well, can gank early, so definitely a great champion. And then, of course, if you're going to pick Jarvan first rotation and leave up the Lulu, they're going to take that probably 10 times out of 10. Yeah. Lulu has been pick ban as well recently in the professional scene, as well as just in general, just a strong champion, can just kite. And it looks like Just Us Guys might turn the table here.
They're hovering the Kog'Maw right now with about 15 seconds left to go for their pick rotation.
That could go in AD carry or mid too.
It could, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But since Mordekaiser is banned here from Just Us Guys, there's a chance that Vicious and Delicious wasn't even planning on playing it because they didn't have the Mordekaiser. Looks like they will lock it in, as well as locking in the Braum.
Yeah, you know what? I'm expecting this Kog'Maw to go bot lane. With Braum adds a lot of safety. It's going to be really up to Vicious and Delicious to try and get to Dr. McFly on that Kog'Maw with all the safety it brings, the long range as well. A lot of different kind of picks hovered over here. I think they're just toying with us here.
I would love the Urgot. I would love the Urgot pick in from formerly. I guess it could go mid lane as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys are back. You can see now the pick bans for yourselves. We don't
Sorry about that.
We don't have to have the...
I know you guys are probably enjoying looking at our beautiful faces.
Absolutely.
But this, being able to see the pick and ban stage, that is a little more informative. And I'm still making hand gestures, even though I'm not on the camera. I'm going to go ahead and stop that.
Express yourself. Bakery Boy, bring out the Azir. Ooh, definitely a champion. We've seen him on before. Yeah, and add just a lot of zone control. They've so far got a light of kiting and disengage. And a lot of long-range siege as well. The siege is going to be unreal. Formerly takes down towers especially fast on Tristana. Bakery Boy, the long range as well, going to do a lot of damage. And it looks like the entire lineup for Just Us Guys has been locked in. They all are going the TP, flash TP. I think they're just messing around, but...
Oh, that would be funny.
That would be hilarious. The Darius is picked last.
Yeah,
just interesting. Not a chance. If you see Darius picked, it's usually picked early.
Yeah.
And not very last pick. But that is going to be a Morgana mid lane. And we're going to start getting the game underway here. You get to see our beautiful faces once again. Dang, we're getting a lot of FaceTime tonight. Jeez. We paid off the cameraman. That's why. But Darius being picked up by Ender now in the top lane. Definitely a champion that can actually really falters against Lulu. Actually, I'm really surprised. I totally forgot about how Proof the Sheep picked up Lulu first rotation, and now the last pick is going to be Darius. Oof, that's pretty rough, to be honest with you.
I mean,
that Lulu is like the distinct counter against Darius. That's why you want to pick it up. If you don't pick up Darius, you pick up the Lulu so you can kite the Darius. But the Lulu is picked up first, and then they pick the Darius. A little peculiar, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, not that Darius isn't still a very strong champion. Definitely a lot of outplay potential on that champion in the top lane. Although the couple we saw it in the first group days of Worlds there last week, we saw it picked a few times, and it was actually quite ineffective in most of the games it was picked. It was really kind of pick ban, but when it was picked, it was rather ineffective. Really, one of the only ones who was able to play it effectively was actually
Balls?
C9 Balls.
Smeb actually has had a lot of success in Group A there. We've had a little bit of disconnect issues. Here, I'm gonna do a little bit of officiating here.
Yeah, let him just move over here. I'll sit down front and center for you guys. As Silky was saying, Smeb also having a lot of success on the Darius in the top lane. Smeb, of course, the top laner for the KOO Tigers. If you watched Worlds today, sorry if I'm spoiling it. Spoiler alert if you did not watch Worlds today. But unfortunately, CLG went 0-3 today, losing all of their games. The first game against KOO Tigers was quite the stomp. Actually, I believe it was over in about 23 minutes. Just not a good day for CLG. I guess you could understand the loss to the KOO Tigers. They're a Korean team. They're the second seed out of Korea is still a very strong team. But they then went on to lose their games against the Yowie Flash Wolves out of Taiwan and Pain Gaming, one of the wildcard teams out of Brazil, taking down CLG as well. And with going 0-3 on the day for CLG, that actually drops them out of contention to make it out of groups, as the Yowie Flash Wolves did win all of their games. They went 3-0 and CLG went 0-3. So with that, Yowie Flash Wolves also actually secured first place in Group A, with KOO Tigers picking up second. And CLG on the outside looking in that third place, which is really so disappointing for them. They were the number one seed coming out of NA. They really rolled through the playoffs, taking down their old rivals TSM in the finals. Coming out as the number one seed, they had the best draw out of anyone coming out of the world draws. They got that Group A in what was considered by some to be one of the really weakest groups of all time, as it contained KOO Tigers, who I said are a strong team, as they were the second seed out of Korea, but many thought them to be not as good as some of the other Korean teams. Pain Gaming out of Brazil, a very strong team. Brazil, a growing region in strength, but still a wildcard team that still is just not at the level of the rest of the LCS regions. And the Yowie Flash Wolves out of Taiwan, that was kind of a wild card. No one really could really predict how well the Yowie Flash Wolves and also AHQ coming out of Taiwan were gonna be, as that's one of the more under the radar regions when it comes to talent. And Yowie Flash Wolves really proved themselves on this second stage of groups, going 3-0, defeating the KOO Tigers in their last game. So unfortunately for CLG, the faith just ran out, and they were looking so good on the first stage of groups. Doublelift and Afromu were back to their classic rush hour antics. They were really just lighting people up out there, but were not able to bring it for the second week, which is really too bad, because they were one of, if you're a fan of the whole East versus West conflict here for Worlds, CLG was one of the top hopes for the West in our chances for Worlds here. Now it's really up to, we've still got Fnatic coming out of Group B, as well as unsuspectedly C9. I think C9 actually might have stolen some of the faith from CLG, because they have come just out of nowhere. If they, depending on how Group B goes in their second stage of groups, which I believe is coming on Sunday, if they can win both, if they can win most of their games, we could actually see C9 and Fnatic coming out of groups. Fnatic will have to step their game up as they are at 1-2, and it looks like Silky is gonna come back around here. I'll scooch over, and we'll we get back into picking bans here?
No, it's all right. There
No,
was
not
just
yet?
there
Okay.
was actually a little bit of a disconnect issue with one of the teams.
Lag.
There was too much lag for Odin. So they're actually switching things up. In this game 2, Odin is going to go in the top lane, Athena in the jungle, Ender in the mid lane.
Okay, interesting.
Holy, a little swaparoo. We actually
swapperoonie.
know that Just Us guys love to do this kind of switching around. So they're going to pull it out this time. But this is like, I guess Athena, we've seen him play every single role on this team.
Pretty much.
But Odin has really, I think, only played jungle, to be honest.
Yeah, well, maybe Darius is just a favorite champion of his. But yeah, like you were saying, Justice Guys is known for doing the thing where they will often use a sub-pick draft where they pick out of order, and then we'll go back in and redo the order for stream purposes. But they are known to... Sometimes they switch up their order depending their roles, depending on what champions they do and do not get in picks and bans, which is an interesting strategy. I guess suppose it
Keeps the enemy on their toes.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because it's good to have that versatility of people who can go in different lanes, but then it's also, you would also might like to have consistency in your lanes and have someone who sticks to their role and knows their role.
And more synergy. I really can't express enough how I think synergy is important, especially in this kind of semi-professional atmosphere. You know, these guys are like...
Whoa, semi-professional?
Well, you know what? They're not...
Look at
they're not in the
banners.
LCS.
Look
They're
at
not,
these
okay,
banners.
Okay, I consider LCS to be professional. So anything
I'm kidding.
at all under that semi-professional. Anyways.
Silky, settle down.
Sorry, I'm getting a little riled up here. In this atmosphere, I think synergy is huge. You can't... swapping around, you know, it keeps people guessing, but you need to get synergy. You need to get comfortable in your lane. And not necessarily comfortable on certain champions. I think that's what kind of pigeonholes a lot of teams is comfort picks and always falling back to those, even though they're not the strongest champions in the meta. I think falling back to some of these picks is kind of like shooting themselves in the foot. But just staying in the same lane and getting synergy with your jungler, getting synergy if you're ADC and you're switching lanes all the time, you're not going to have the same synergy with your support. You know, just a lot of different things. So I'd like to see teams kind of stick together and stay in the same role. But you know what? Justice guys do what they please.
Yeah.
Don't need no caster telling them what to do.
Yeah, they don't need us telling them what to do, especially if you saw our show match last night, Silky.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Vicious and Delicious was 3/5 of that team, so
That's true.
they're gonna hold the majority of the responsibility for those losses. If you did not watch last night, guys, there was a show match between me and Dezaninator along with Bakery Boy, Poof the Sheep, and Mo Money. We took on Land 4 Time Squad. Fun was had. Some interesting...
Maybe fun for Land Before Time.
You know what? There was some fun picks by us. We weren't afraid to
You're
go
right.
outside the meta. Some Teemo jungle in there.
Oh my god.
Heimerdinger, you know.
Just
It's actually
awful.
It's actually a nightmare. I'd like to forget. But we're going to take a quick break, guys. We're going to play a couple ads for you here. Going into game 2 between Just Us Guys and Vicious and Delicious. Don't touch the browser. We'll be right back.
Yo, check this out.
Hello, everyone. We are back. It is Silky Mittens once again, joined by Big Booty Bodie. Is it Big Booty Bodie or just Big Booty? Is it the whole thing? Or?
I guess technically it would just be Big Booty because it's Kevin Big Booty Bodie. So.
Right. Is your summoner name Big Booty Bodie, though?
My summoner name is technically Big Booty Bodie, I guess.
That's where I get screwed up. So I think half the time I call you Big Booty and the other half Big Booty Bodie.
Yeah, I
okay.
get Big Bodie as well.
Oh, Big Bodie. Oh, I like that, actually. That might be the new one that I call you. Anyways.
Sometimes I accidentally call you Salty Mittens after hearing some of your solo queue games. But we'll get back into the game here. Oh, sorry about the overlay there, folks. Getting too distracted, chirping each other. So on the blue side for game 2, we've got just us guys. We've got Odin moving up to the top lane here onto the Darius. We've got Athena moving into the jungle, still playing the Jarvan, even though it was Odin who was in the jungle playing the Jarvan last game. They stick with the champion, but change the summoner. Ender the 9th now in the mid lane, playing that Morgana. We've got Dr. McFly on the Kog'Maw in the bot lane, and Huntail bringing out that Braum.
Yeah, and on the red side, we've got Poof the Sheep for Vicious and Delicious playing that Gnar in the top lane to Freakers. It looks like there's a little bit of action here. Mo Money getting stunned up. Might be in a little bit of trouble. Not much CC follow-up coming out from Jess's guys. The Cucaracha. They might be able to get a kill here as the sun goes out.
The Dark Binding does land onto Mo Money there. And Odin picks up first blood here for Just Us Guys. So a good start for Jug here. Better than last game.
Yeah, Mo Money getting a little greedy there, holding on to that flash. Yeah. Got stunned up for the first time. The cooldown isn't that ridiculously long, so it's going to come up eventually. Maybe just didn't think it would come up in time. He was able to run away. But that's going to be first blood going out to Odin. Going to get a little bit of a head start in this top lane against Poof the Sheep. And it's going to be a little bit of an added cushion, I would say, for Odin. But Poof the Sheep has proven to win this matchup on Gnar against Darius in the top lane. So it will change things, but not by much, I don't think. Getting back to the introductions before we were so rudely interrupted. To Freakers in the jungle for Vicious and Delicious playing the Gragas No Skin. Boo. Bakery Boy bringing out the cleanse on the Azir in the mid lane formerly, and Mo Money going to round out that bot lane with Tristana and the Lulu pick as well.
Yeah, you know, the No Skin coming out from Freakers on the Gragas. I just hate the way No Skin Gragas looks. He's just big and fat. You can just, the rolls on the guy, like...
Hey, what do you got? What do you got against the big guy, huh?
I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not a fan. Put a shirt on, am I right?
Oh, God.
I would like to see some, you know, it is October. Some Oktoberfest Gragas would be seasonally appropriate.
That's true. That is very true. I think it's going to be a little bit of a rough time for Dr. McFly and Huntail in this bot lane before Dr. McFly is able to get that power spike in the Trinity Force. I think Lulu is just such a big bully, and Tristana able to pump out a lot of damage pretty much at all stages in the game. It's going to be a rough one. I think that this is one of the lanes that Athena is going to put a lot of pressure on in the early game.
Yeah, also worth noting that, it's Tefreakus here now on the bot lane. Lands the body slam onto Ender. Flash comes out to avoid the soldiers, and will get away there. As I was saying, worth noting that in our bit of break there when we were having those technical issues, we were talking about the Lulu as if it was going in the top lane for Vicious and Delicious, but because we didn't see the last pick before we dropped out of the pick and ban stage. The last pick for Vicious and Delicious actually was Gnar for Poof the Sheep, so we see that that's now in the top lane, and Lulu actually coming down from Mo Money at support, as now Athena coming down to the mid lane. Exhaust goes down onto Tristana, forces a flash, but now Mo Money. A lot of damage going down here, but looks like they will just back off here, and now Athena actually getting slowed down here and taking shots from the both of them.
Yeah, taking pot shots. That was a great gank nonetheless. A lot of summoners blown by formerly. They're having to use the flash and the heal, as well as Mo Money not having flash available now. So that's going to get a lot tougher, actually. I'm expecting a return gank very soon from Athena. Still no... there's one ward now in the River Brush for Vicious and Delicious, but I expect Athena to be there, if not immediately, in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, repeat gank would be good. We could be looking for a repeat gank for Tefreakers in the mid lane as well, because on that first gank that he made, he did blow the flash onto... blow the flash of Ender the 9th. So maybe looking for a repeat gank there as well, but we did see... What happened to Athena there, Silky?
Yeah, Athena just getting caught at his own red formerly, or Tefreakers rather. Just a little bit more health on this Greg. It's the red buff, but coming in for a gank.
Coming down, rocket jump at the same time for formerly. They're going explosive charges onto Dr. McFly, but the unbreakable shield is there to block a lot of the damage. As we see Odin and Poof the Sheep now going at in the mid lane. Poof the Sheep somersaults out, and now Odin actually low. A couple more shots from the Boomerang, actually forced a flash here, and Poof the Sheep proving, as you said, that he can win this matchup against the Darius.
Absolutely, you can just kite the Darius so well as Gnar. As long as you don't get an apprehend range, you're not really in any danger. Going down to the bot lane gank, really the unbreakable shield by Huntail there. Only thing saving Dr. McFly's life, the explosive charge. But Odin going for more blood. Oh, missed the heal.
But Poof the Sheep hits Mega Gnar at the right time and is able to pick up the kill onto Odin. And this is not a good start in his debut in the top lane for Odin.
Yeah, twice in a row there, the fight just a couple seconds ago, and that one, Odin actually missing the heal, not catching the Decimate on the outer ring. Instead, Poof the Sheep getting too close and going right into the middle. If you're going to dodge the Decimate, you either go right beside the guy or you get out of that that outer ring, and that's what he did there. And that might have been able to swing that fight in his favor if he would have got the heal off there, more damage as well. So a little bit of missed opportunity there, and Poof the Sheep is not one you need to give kills to this early in the game.
No, not at all. And to be fair, it was very fortuitous timing on the Narbar there for Poof the Sheep to pop it right as he was getting very low, and just as Odin was getting very low as well. That just gave him the little extra push he needed to be able to finish off that kill.
Yeah, I think finishing it off the style points. Yeah. He hopped on his head, and that was the final blow there.
Just styling on him.
Styling on him. There's no getting out of that one, though, especially now without Flash and no TP available. Odin is about to have that one up, Poof the Sheep as well. So we might see that these guys start to hit level 6, and right around the time they hit level 6 is going to be the time that teleports are up. We can see some fireworks in the mid lane, but most likely the bot lane.
So we do see Flash actually forced out there from Bakery Boys. Enter the 9th, doing a lot of damage. Athena is there as well, but so is Tefreakus. Emperor's Divide comes out and blocks him out, but Athena will be able to finish up the kill as there's no Flash for Bakery Boy to be able to get out there. Enter the 9th, very low as well. Tefreakus might look to chase, but with Athena there, he's not going to be able to do much.
There was 2 separate fights going on at once. The mid laners were fighting and the junglers were fighting as well. Tefreakus using the body slam to get onto Athena, but Athena hopping back over the wall into the other fight and taking out Bakery Boy for the kill there.
But the Gnar ult hits Odin up against the wall and will go down here. Some more great Gnar plays for Poof the Sheep now that they are at level 6. That big Gnar ult into the wall just was too much.
That power spike, especially without Odin being level 6 and not able to heal himself once again. That time he just died before his Decimate was able to finish the animation. He's got a little bit of a wind-up time there, and unfortunately going down. There might be a dive here in the bot lane.
Tefreakus is coming down, throws out the barrel. It explodes onto Dr. McFly. Explosive charges onto the turret actually as they're throwing damage onto it. Huntail with the unbreakable shield, looking to save the turret, and looks like they will back off for now as we see Athena getting that 30 gold for clearing out the pink ward.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit rough. I think Athena really needs to get Ender or this bot lane ahead.
Someone here.
Yeah, at this point you could go top for Odin, but honestly Poof the Sheep is pretty adept at that Gnar.
Yeah, a bit of a lost cause in that top lane at this point, maybe.
Yeah, almost. I wouldn't say it's out of reach just yet. If Poof Sheep gets more CS discrepancy or one more kill, I think it might be out of reach. He could probably 1v2 at that point. But Darius does do a lot of damage still, so maybe not a lost cause, but I think just getting Dr. McFly ahead would be beneficial as well. It's going to be easier to keep Poof off once Dr. McFly's ahead, but if every lane's behind, and Odin's looking for more blood. I don't know if he wants it though.
Throws out the Decimate there, but now just gonna back off here. He did start that fight as he landed the hook and pulled him in, but
yeah, that kind of just shows that this Darius can hold his own against Gnar, but he has to hit the heal.
Yeah,
he hasn't hit the heal like once in that fight. Right there, he hits the heal with the Decimate, and he goes pretty much even, if not more damage towards Poof the Sheep. So maybe the last couple fights, if things go differently, he could be ahead and be 3-0, and it would be Poof the Sheep that's 0-2.
Yeah, maybe just some, if the Narbars hadn't been lining up as well, it could have swung either way. And now the Narbar now just going after Poof the Sheep, and now is going to be the time where Odin is going to want to engage if he's going to look for it, but Poof the Sheep knows better than maybe not, as he does get pulled in here. They're throwing damage. The Decimate comes in, somersault out from Poof the Sheep, looking to run away. No junglers are present, so this is going to be clearly strictly a 1v1, but Poof the Sheep actually getting the better of him and looks for the boomerang misses on the back end, and Odin is just going to make it out with a sliver of his health, and Poof didn't even need the Narbar on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. That was such a close fight. Honestly, the only thing that kept Poof alive was the cooldown being too long on Odin's Decimate. He had to wait for it to come back up. He couldn't just face check without that up. He wouldn't have been able to do enough damage, not heal. And so once he waited for the Decimate to come back up, all his stacks were lost. They timed out, so he didn't get 5 stacks. And his Noxian Guillotine.
Guillotine.
Is it guillotine?
It's a French word, I believe. I could be
Right.
wrong. It's pronounced guillotine.
Yeah, some people say guillotine. You know what? I say half.
Well, those
I say
people
half
are
and half.
wrong.
Anyways, not getting as much damage, not getting all the stacks on that ultimate is definitely going to hurt him in the long run. But a lot of
Glacial
fighting
Fissure comes
bot lane.
out. Sorry, Silky. Ooh, crafty.
Crafty.
Glacial Fissure did come out there and did knock up formally, I believe, but no follow-up. Sorry, continue your point.
That's okay. As soon as Huntail saw, but Athena's here in the bot lane.
Pops the Cataclysm, but doesn't get anyone in it as the flash comes out from more money and does get stunned up and will go down. Formally now, throwing shots on Athena as the TP is coming in. Did the TP complete? It did not. And Freakers picks up the kill onto Athena with Ender the 9th picking up the kill onto Formally and Dr. McFly finishing off Poof the Sheep. Now to Freakers, the only one left alive there, and Silky, you look exasperated.
I was exasperated because I thought that fight was going to be so lost. The teleport not being available for Odin, that was just the man advantage for Vicious and Delicious. But the roam coming out from Ender beating Bakery Boy to this bot lane was really the turning point. Flashed in to get the ultimate on 3 people, locking all of them up, hitting the binding as well, just cleaning up the kills. And that is a huge swing for Justice guys. They're going to get the tier 1 out of this as well. And that's going to even up the towers, but that's just a great fight by them and really great map presence by Ender, being able to roam down faster than Bakery Boy was able to, and just strutting his stuff and really pulling out for his team. Unfortunately, he's also 20 CS behind in the mid lane.
I was just going to say that he's sitting at about an over 20 discrepancy, and as he did choose to teleport down for that fight in the bot lane, Bakery Boy just stayed in the mid, had a free lane there for a while and picked up a farm and grew that lead even more. But as you were saying, great global map presence by Ender the 9th. And that's what you get when you run the double TP team comps.
Yeah, absolutely able to beat him down there. Bakery Boy opting for the cleanse instead of the teleport. Not going to be able to match that, really. Athena, though, making a return trip in the bot lane.
Flag and Dre goes in onto Mo Money, but with Formerly there, he's going to back off. And Poof the Sheep now. Odin pulls him in, but throws out the Decimate for the heal, but Poof the Sheep has been getting the best of him in all these fights. And at this point, and the Narbar, well-timed again, ulted into the wall. Flash comes out from Odin, throws the house on him, but I don't know if he's going to be able to finish this off. Does not have Flash available for the follow-up and will back off. But, geez, Odin looking for these engages, keeps pulling Poof the Sheep in, and I don't know if he's just not watching the Narbar or if it's just building up that quickly. Just never coming out on top in these fights as the Flag and Drag goes in onto the Freakers. Huntail there as well, lands the Winter's Bite. Unbreakable Shield goes down with, but Formerly going to, the Dark Binding lands from quite a ways away, but still going to be able to back out here as Odin did just use his TP to get back into the top lane to defend that turret.
That was a little bit tricky there. When you're throwing a Morgana binding kind of into the dark where you don't have vision, you can tell if it hits if you can see the skill shot itself kind of stop. But since that was a max range, you couldn't really tell whether it hit someone or just ran out of range, right? So couldn't engage on that one, but it looks like they're fighting around this blue buff.
Did land the Dark Binding onto, but Bakery Boy comes in with the Emperor's Divide after the Wild Growth and is very big and picks up the kills. And Athena popped the Cataclysm there, but the Zero soldiers poking him out. Mo Money looking to finish up a kill here, and he does. Huntail very low as well. And just not a great fight there for Just Us guys. Huntail went in and kind of just face-checked the bush, and there's 4 members of Vicious and Delicious sitting in there waiting for him.
Yeah, he got popped immediately, but actually lived throughout the entire fight.
Yeah.
He got away with barely anything. People were flashing in after him. I think Bakery Boy came over the wall, tried to Emperor's Divide, finish him up, but the wall stopped right in front of him. Ugh. He was actually, Huntail was able to offer a Glacial fissure right into the middle of the fight, so that actually probably saved his team. Odin's still looking for a fight, but that's the right time to find the fight.
Narbar.
The Narbar's low, or he just ran out. Takes a little time to recharge before you're able to get the Narbar going again as well. So Odin got to pick smarter fights here, especially not having Flash available. Could see Poof the Sheep go for some more aggressive play.
Yeah, but Poof the Sheep's smart enough to know when he was pulled in there. Previously, when Poof the Sheep has been pulled in and has the Narbar up, he'll go in onto Odin and engage in the fight. But there, when the Narbar was low, Poof the Sheep just backed out. Just kind of said, I'm out of here. I know where my Narbar is at. I'm not going to take this fight. I'll wait a little bit and then look for the engage. As he's Mega Gnar right now, but not able to be in as he wants. And actually, maybe we'll look to back here, I guess.
Yeah, the range advantage is actually kind of going to be pretty disgusting here as the game goes on. Formerly on Tristana, the range just passively increases on her auto attacks and her ultimate as the game progresses, as she gains levels. And Bakery Boy already outranges Ender's Morgana tremendously. That's why we see such a big CS discrepancy in the mid lane, because really, as long as Bakery Boy doesn't get a binding landed on him, he's totally safe, especially with Cleanse. So he's just able to bully out, and the range and the siege that Vicious and Delicious is bringing out is actually going to be disgusting. And it's going to be up to Justice Guys to get picks onto Bakery Boy and onto Formerly if they really want to start winning these team fights.
They're looking to take this Dragon here. Athena is present with Smite available. Dragon getting low here, but the Azir soldiers are just going to zone off the members of Justice Guys, and Vicious and Delicious do pick up their first Dragon.
It would have been beneficial. It's only the first Dragon. They don't really need to go for that. It would have been beneficial for them just to swing, rotate mid, maybe get the side lanes pushing if you want to go bot lane. Maybe not safest to go bot lane at that point in time, but just rotate mid while all the members are doing drag. It's just the first drag, you can give it up instead of doing a dance around it and kind of saying, do I go in, do I not go in, and then end up not going in. Probably would have been beneficial to do other things around the map instead of just sitting around getting poked down and being forced to back anyways.
Yeah, to be honest, maybe they're probably lucky that they didn't get immediately engaged on after as well, because oftentimes you see teams will pick up a dragon and then engage on the enemy team, and sometimes will pick up kills as well. They were able to escape with their lives, as we do see Poof the Sheep taking on that turret in the top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Just another objective that was just a long time coming for Poof the Sheep, being able to bully Odin so much, pretty much being pushed in at all times. The chip damage on the turret is going to take its toll, and it does eventually. And Poof the Sheep is just happy to sit on this island top lane. As long as he can get kills, as long as he can TP into team fights, he is totally happy to be up here. To be honest, he could probably 1v2, unless really getting locked down by the Athena-Odin combination. Maybe Ender roams up too, but not sure they want to. They kind of want to be smart with how Justice Guys spends their resources. They want to get some of their stronger members going. Darius is inherently going to be strong. He just does a lot of base damage as well. Usually tends to build a little bit of an off tank anyways. So at this point, I think you got to point more attention to Dr. McFly and getting picks with Ender.
Yeah, Dr. McFly now, despite the being down about almost 40 CS in the bot lane, was able to pick up his Trinity Force, but we do see Formerly now completing the Infinity Edge, so that the bot lane now, both members going to be a bit more scary.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Lulu going towards that Zeke's Harbinger.
Where's Dezaninator when you need him?
Yeah, he's smiling somewhere because he just loves that item. More than he should, I think.
Yeah,
more than his friends.
You have been critical of that item before, Silky.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I've said people think I hate it, but I don't hate it. I just don't think it's like the be-all, end-all. But when you're this ahead in the bot lane, being 30 CS, maybe not ahead in kills, you can definitely afford to kind of go the more offensive route, especially with Lulu already adding shields and stuff. You don't need to build a Nagus of Legion. With the Wild Growth, you don't need to build, other kind of utility type items, so you can afford to go Zeke's Harbinger, definitely, and Tristana will benefit hugely from that item. So I think Zeke's has its moments and it has its spots that can be definitely utilized, but be all end all, not agreeing. But Athena's in this top lane and he's built full damage. Let's see if they can take down Poof the Sheep.
Yeah, Odin pulls him in, but is getting chunked out already. Athena, but Tefreakers comes into those. Poof the Sheep hops back out over the wall. Now Athena goes to the Flag and Drag onto Tefreakers. Pulls the Cataclysm, does get him in there, but flashes out to Freakers. But now Athena caught in the middle, but picks up the kill onto Freakers, but Poof the Sheep looking to land those stacks, does get the slow. Odin is there to try and help, but it looks like, will he be able to finish off? No, Athena will get out at this point, but does finish the kill with the Mega, the ult in the wall. But now Odin in a bad spot as Bakery Boy and Mo Money have showed up, and Bakery Boy finishes off the kill. Huntail, Dr. McFly, and Ender the 9th there as well. It might be too late. Voidooz comes out, flash forward from Ender, it flashes out from Bakery Boy. Poof the Sheep caught in a bad spot. The concussive blows does pop. Glacial Fissure comes out. Emperor's Divide comes out. The double kill for Dr. McFly here. And Huntail does go down just after popping the Glacial Fissure.
Yeah, definitely. Just as Guy's able to pull back a little bit of a win from that fight. The teleport coming down the bot lane, this was going to be scary if Formerly is able to pick that one up. Just in the bot lane by himself, takes down towers insanely fast. That's going to be a tier 1 in the top lane taken down by Dr. McFly for sure. Good on Justice, guys, to follow that up. I was kind of wondering why Ender didn't use teleport immediately to salvage that fight. Dr. McFly looks like he's going to be caught out here, though. The flash being used. Mo Money's got the slows, though. The heal used as well. The Glitter Lance is still available to Freakers, just chilling there. Dr. McFly going to try and take down Mo Money. The teleport going to come in finally from Odin. Going to do as much as he can. Another teleport coming in from Poof the Sheep as well. It's going to be a 2v3 in the top lane. Odin might find himself in some trouble. Dr. McFly says, thanks, friend. You're the sacrificial lamb. And he fails the flash as well, just on top of that, just adding insult to injury.
Yeah, a little flash into the wall there.
Just showing his stuff. Look, guys, I can flash in this wall.
It was the BM. He said, you know what?
Yeah,
you know, anyways.
I didn't see any flares, though. We haven't seen any Worlds flares in SKL at all this week.
You know, there was a few in the show match last night. I think I might have saw you pop a Pain Gaming flare.
Oh, of course. I got that on my hotkey on my mouse. Every time, it's like every time I right-click, almost I have it set to the Pain Gaming flare coming up. Gotta show my respects. Taking out CLG today?
Oh,
yeah,
CLG
playing the
today.
spoiler, not making out of groups, but heck, I'm pretty sure they finished like third, or tied for third and fourth. With CLG, so hey, not bad.
But you're right, I am disappointed in the lack of the Worlds flares because those are pretty hilarious. It is funny to see the teams use them in the actual Worlds. The BM is just off the charts sometimes. But I've been waiting to see a team to pick the flare of another team and use that. Like, I could see like some other team just randomly like picking a TSM flare or something and just popping in the middle of the game just to be funny.
One of the LCS casters actually asked the same thing, and the refs had informed the casters afterwards that they're not allowed.
What?
They're only allowed just to avoid any like over BM. I know it would have been awesome to like take the enemy one and then taunt it, but that's a little too BM. They want to be professional, so I can see where that comes from. Good disengage there by Ender the 9th on to Poof the Sheep, and this might be Dragon number 2.
Yeah, they're looking to go in on it, but Justice guys have stuck around, but now they're walking away. But they actually are great choice here. They're going to push mid lane. They're going to choose to rotate, and they're going to go ahead and give up the second dragon and rotate to another objective, like you said they should have done the first time, Silky.
Absolutely. So this is a great pickup. It's almost like they're listening to the cast or something.
Well, they
might be ghosting 3 minutes behind, but I mean, hey, it becomes
hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, the dragon's on a 6-minute cooldown, so you can benefit from all the useful information I'm pumping out here. They're still continuing the siege now. Odin was in the top lane without teleport, so instead of opting for that dragon fight, they instead decided to siege up, and not a bad idea. Dr. McFly, a lot of long range himself. 4-0 now, picking up the Triforce and also having the Bilgewater's Cutlass going towards that Blade of the Rune King. He's going to be a lot scarier. It's going to be up to Vicious and Delicious to get to this back line and start doing some damage on Dr. McFly, or else he's going to start shredding.
Yeah, you know, a couple other, as well as End of the 9th in the mid lane, picking up the Rabadon's Death Cap, going to be doing a lot more damage there. We see Odin having the Black Cleaver in the top lane, and he's had that for a while, but still going to be doing a lot more damage on that.
Yeah, a little interesting to see Ender go for that Rabadons instead of the Zanyas. Formerly he's pumping out a lot of armor, but that's not really why Morganas usually like to pick up the Zanyas. We've seen it a lot this game. Ender's been flashing in, trying to get the Chains of Corruption out, and just absolutely lock everyone up. But the Zanyas really helps that. If you're going to be one of the main initiators just flashing in and ulting as a Morgana, the Zanyas is really critical. I'm going to guarantee that it's the second item here. As the Needlessly Large Rod is picked up now after the Rabadons. I'm almost going to guarantee it. I'm just a little confused as to why it wasn't the first item. But you know what? Second item, not bad. As long as you can get the money relatively quickly before the next team fight, that's a huge item for Morganas.
Yeah, although, speaking of getting the money quick enough, Morgana, End of the 9th on the Morgana, is actually down quite a bit of CS in the bot lane. However, for most of this game, Vicious and Delicious has been leading in gold, but we have had a very small swing here, as Just Us Guys actually is now ahead in gold for only by about 200. I mean, you might as well call it even at this point. But previously to this, Vicious and Delicious had been up in gold for a while.
Yeah, to be honest, Just Us Guys are playing really well this game. We've seen this from them lots. They're always in the game, at least till 20 minutes. But Ender the 9th
explosive cast knocks End of the 9th right back into the rest of the team, and he gets melted. And they're going to look to push in on this turret now. And with the Tristana on your team, that's going to go down very quickly.
Absolutely getting exploded there. Yeah. That was a great catch by Tafreakers, just not respecting that explosive cast. You always got to expect it's going to come. Expect the worst. Definitely. Athena now looking to come to this mid lane. Athena, just want to point out, he's built full like damage. Look at all his items. He's got like a piece of like 4 different items here. He's got the Tiamat, he's got the Phage, he's got the cloth armor, he's got the dagger, the attack speed dagger as well. He's like building for like 4 different items at once, and it's not really helping him out, to be honest.
Oh, but Poop the Sheep flashes forward and ults 2 members into the wall, Dr. McFly and Odin. Emperor's Divide comes out from Azir as well, as Odin getting very low here, and that's 2 kills so far for Vicious and Delicious. Huntail might be next, and he will go down with formally with the dub. Rocket jumps in, but then flashes up, says whoops. 2ham gets trapped up in the Cataclysm and does go down. Explosive charge onto Athena, not going to finish him off. Formally picked up some kills, going a little too ham there. He rocket jumped in, maybe looking to finish off, and then immediately flashed out, realizing his mistake.
Yeah, not much of a front line for Just Us guys. They stayed around a little bit too long after losing Ender the 9th. They tried to defend as best they could. They ended up saving their inhibitor tower, but their tier 2 still went down. They lost 3 members actually in the process. Huntail holding on to his ultimate like really late in that fight. I know Dr. McFly kind of got cut out there as well as Odin did, but Huntail held on to his ult really late there. Might have been CC'd, maybe unable to use it, but that's going to be a key cooldown for him going forward to try and disengage and try and keep your main carry, Dr. McFly, alive. His first death of the game now. It might be something we see a lot more of going forward.
Yeah, you could be right, Silky. And just a great engage there by Poop the Sheep on this Gnar. Flashing forward for the ulti and just knocking back Odin and Dr. McFly into the wall. And that was really it. That was the engage they needed, and that was really guaranteed them success in the team fight.
Absolutely. Not the engage that Summer Rift wants, but the one it needs, right?
Not the one it deserves.
Right.
Yeah.
Something Batman. Try and throw in the quotes whenever I can. Now just really looking to pick up the vision is Just Us guys. They really got a tall task ahead of them, as there's a lot of offensive wards and wards around Baron for Vicious and Delicious. Now getting their own out on the map, very good for them. They might want to keep the ward coverage a little bit more closer to home. I don't think they want to venture out that far, as evidenced right now by Poop the Sheep basically 1v2ing here.
Yeah, but Athena does come in with the flag and drag here. Ender there as well. Does land the predictive Dark Binding. Cataclysm comes down as well, and Odin picks up the kill with Noxian Guillotine.
The dunk!
The dunk!
I think this is the first time I've seen Darius played in a long time that there's been no Dunk Master skin.
Yeah, very disappointing. I do love that skin.
But I do love Lord Darius, a very underrated skin, I think. It looks pretty BA in my personal opinion. Huntail might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Talking about somebody throws out the Unbreakable Shield. It looks like Explosive Cask did get used there to really no effect.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, especially with Poof the Sheep being down here, Just Us guys should take this opportunity to get what they can here.
Yeah, they're a little bit low is the only thing wrong with that. Explosive Cask is going to be one of the huge tools that Vicious and Delicious has to try and get into the carries of Just Us guys, but that's a huge summoner blown, but they're not very healthy.
Oh, Emperor's Divide actually pushes Ender the 9th away, but Poof the Sheep will finish up the kill with the help of Formally. Huntail goes down as well, 2 Defreakers. And will they look to Baron here, perhaps, Silky?
They will go to Baron here. There's 25 seconds both on Ender and Huntail. There's not enough beef and not enough damage to come from Just Us guys. I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep them off. There's no pick potential. Odin and Athena, if they want to try and get them off the Baron, would have had to go right in there. Dr. McFly, too squishy, too immobile to do anything. So just going to, farm up, take some jungle away, pick up the blue buff for themselves on a Dr. McFly. But that's pretty much all they can do. And it's going to mean another dragon as well for Vicious and Delicious. So just staying too much there might be the turning point. They used to be just like even like a couple minutes ago, and now 3 members go down and then 2 members go down, and what do you know, you're all of a sudden down 6k.
Yeah, what do you know, you get a Baron and a Dragon. Like you said, that can't have been more than 2-3 minutes ago. We were talking about how even the gold was, but they just managed to pull away here. Just like you said, getting picked out. End of the 9th, getting picked out there from the big Explosive Cask on from the Gragas. Just things turning sour here quickly for Just Us guys after staying in it for the first about 25 minutes.
Yeah, and still no Zhonya's picked up by End of the 9th, really finding himself less useful as this game goes on, and he doesn't have that item complete. Early on, he was making excellent roams, making great use of that TP, but he can't TP in now. He doesn't have the Zhonya's. He's not going to survive very long. He's not going to survive the channel duration of his ultimate, quite frankly, to get anyone stunned up if he doesn't have the Zhonya's available. So that pick turning to be useful in the early game, but not so much right now. And definitely looking to pick that item up still. And he'll be a lot more useful, almost twice as much. Looking to get a pick here on more money.
As Athena goes for the flag and drag here. Damage going on to Defreakers, but he's tanky. They're just tickling him at this point, and he's just going to walk right out.
It looks like Athena is going towards the Trinity Force now, picking up the T-Mat early, going for the Phage, and now picking up the Zeal as well, going for the Trinity Force, and also has a Chain Vest to sit on. So still going for like 3 different items all at once. Not sure if that's the right path you want to go, but he still caught himself in a bit of a pickle.
And as this team fight is going in the mid lane, Poof the Sheep is actually pushing in the top lane. He did actually pick up the turret and is now, I believe, working on the top inhibitor turret and inhibitor. As we see Form Lane Bakery Boy now pick up the kills. The rocket jumps coming in from Form Lane, throwing out the rockets. Winter's Bite comes out as Poof the Sheep does pick up the turret. Unbreakable Shield isn't going to be enough as Formally, great timing, picks up the final kill. Looking for some more as they're going in on the inhibitor here, as 4 members of Just Us Guys are down. Baron Empowered minions there as well. All 5 members of Vicious and Delicious in the Jug base.
I don't think this is going to be game, but this is going to be a ravaged base for Just Us Guys. Definitely a daunting task ahead of them. They still might be able to do a little bit here. They might be able to claw themselves back a little bit. They definitely have the pick potential to do it. But I think, honestly, what pigeonholed them so much in this game is the item choices, if I'm being frank with you. Athena going full...
Please, don't hold back, Silky.
I'll try not to hold back on you, big booty. You know what? Going for the Trinity Force and then team out early as someone on Jarvan who's not really that ahead. He never was really like 4-0 on Jarvan. And that's really when the only time you can afford to go kind of the full ham. Then you can go dive in the backline, do tons of damage. You can't really afford to. Your team needs a front line. And right now, Odin's not being enough of a front line. Nope. There's too much damage coming from Bakery Boy and Formerly. And quite frankly, the rest of the team is doing enough damage as well. But they're beefy in their utility. They're going to keep their carries safe. And the same cannot be said for Just Us Guys. The same with Ender going for the early Rabadons. Just now picking up a Zhonya's. Yeah. That is the core item on any Morgana. Be it support, even support Morgana like to go as Zhonya's after they get the Sightstone and stuff going. If they're ahead enough. But just not picking that up. And Dr. McFly.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Azir soldiers and the explosive charge just absolutely melts him.
Yeah, absolutely disappears from the face of Summoner's Rift.
Yeah.
He's going to be looking at a gray screen for the next 30 seconds, and this is going to allow Vicious and Delicious to really siege up on this bot lane if they really want it. They could probably end the game almost at this point. The death timers are getting longer and longer, and they're going to be looking at a lot of super minions in the base of Just Us Guys in literally under 10 seconds. That thing is going to be filled with those super minions, and a little bit of BM there.
The wards.
Clear that. I dare you.
Yeah. Take the time to clear all that, yeah. But to Freakers now, gets caught in the dark binding. Poof the Sheep comes out with the Meganar, but they're just doing damage on this turret here. The explosive charge just absolutely chunking that thing out. Oh, excuse me. And they're on to the inhibitor here as Poof the Sheep just going for the kills. Oh, the 3-man ult into the inhibitor. The Emperor's Divide coming from the other side. They're getting double teamed here on both ends as the Zhonya's is popped there for Ender the 9th. Damage coming out here. Odin very low here. Triple kill actually here picked up now for Odin as the members of Vicious and Delicious did go a little ham. But the Winions are doing work here. To Freaker's still present. He's going to back out. The second inhibitor Nexus turret does go down here, and they're going to need to clear these out. But to Freakers, he's hanging around. He doesn't want to leave.
He doesn't want to leave, but he might find himself in a bit of a little bit of trouble here. That was actually a great initiate by Poof the Sheep. It turned around so quickly, though, because the carries for Just Us Guys were able to sit in the back. That was actually a great Cataclysm by Odin, and a great Glacial Fissure as well by Huntail. Able to lock up pretty much the entire team of Vicious and Delicious. And there was Kog'Maw just sitting there shredding the tanks, shredding anyone you get close to. He has such long range, doing all the damages that he needs to. Ender the 9th staying healthy as well. So that's actually a really good team fight by Just Us Guys. It's what they needed to do 15 minutes ago, though. Big booty on it, quite frankly. I guess, things started to go south maybe 8 minutes ago?
Yeah, not too long.
It's not too long ago, so just a different build pass, honestly, is what kind of shot themselves in the foot here. They don't know how to build these kind of champions for the right situation that they are in, and it's really proven to be costly here. Even with killing four members of the opposite team, they're still going to be looking at 3 inhibs now.
Yeah, and maybe Vicious and Delicious just going a little too ham too early there. You had Poof the Sheep, I believe he flashed in, and Gnar ulted about 3 members back into the rest of the team, coming the one way, and then Bakery Boy was coming the other way down the highway with the Emperor's Divide, just sandwiching the members of Just Us Guys in the middle, but it was maybe just too early, and then Odin just started cleaning up members of Vicious and Delicious after that.
Yeah, Dr. McFly was able to flash out of that, and so he was, after that was all said and done, he was safe. Poof the Sheep flashed in to get this big Gnar ultimate, but no, I don't think anyone important, anyways, got stunned onto the inhibitor, which is what he was going for, to try and stun them against that terrain. So he didn't actually get anyone meaningful. It looked really fancy, but, you know, in the end, not proving that useful. But now I think this is pretty much the end of the game here. All they need to do is just hit the thing.
As the Emperor's Divide does come out, and the Glacial Fissure now from Huntail, but he's getting hit very low here. Athena goes for the Cataclysm, but actually I think got knocked out of it there as Formerly's throwing pot shots here. Baker Boy gets the kill on the end of the ninth. Odin's going to be next to go. The dub here for Baker Boy. Rocket jump in from Formerly. The tower dive for the soldiers here. They're going to back off, but that's the game here. The Nexus has been destroyed, and at 34 minutes, we have a Game 2 win for Vicious and Delicious.
Absolutely. That was a big Emperor's Divide kind of block there on Odin trying to get in there at the end. Double. He tried to flag and drag over the Emperor's Divide. Not going to work. Tried to Cataclysm and dive midair. Definitely not going to work as well. Interesting game. Honestly, this was a really exciting one and really close from Just Us Guys.
For most of the game.
Yeah, I feel like they could have won. They could have won that game.
Yeah,
they really could have. They set themselves up with a great team comp. Vicious and Delicious didn't have a bad team comp themselves.
No, not at
They're
all.
Really good. A double threat. You know, they had a good Bakery Boy Azir pumping out lots of damage, and Formerly on the Tristana pumping a lot of damage out as well. But on Just Us Guys' side, they had it. They really had it. Dr. McFly was ahead. He hit his power spikes. He was doing lots of damage. You know, despite Odin kind of getting tossed around in the top lane, the gold lead, it was even. It was even. And then all of a sudden, the TSN turning point happened. And
or the TSM turning point.
oh.
Ooh, boo. All right. Tough crowd.
Yeah.
But like you said as well, maybe Just Us Guys not capitalizing on their champions' abilities as well with the maybe questionable item builds, as you were talking about, not using those to their full advantages, maybe was definitely hindered them as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, I don't want to say it's the entire reason they lost.
No.
Definitely positional errors as well as just like small things here and there, and then obviously losing those big team fights mid-game that kind of snowballed into Vicious and Delicious's favor is what ultimately set them back. But, you know, building full damage on your main initiator on Athena when you're not ahead, it's definitely going to slow you down.
And then the Triforce on the Jarvan and just interesting choices. But yeah, Vicious and Delicious once again proving, first of all, that they can win even when they don't get the Mordekaiser, as this was still a very impressive showing for them on a very different team comp than they had the first game. Mm-hmm. And again, proving that they are one of our top teams here in SKL.
Absolutely. Regardless of whether Just Us Guys is kind of seen as a middle of the pack lore kind of team in the standings, they're still a strong team. So you really got to show up against these guys. And Vicious and Delicious definitely did. They had that Mord comp game one so strong. You got to ban
Just
that.
a Mord comp. Yeah.
Just a Mord comp. If you're on the red side, really against any team, I think you got to ban that thing away. Mord's just too OP. So
and the Zac as well. Yeah, here's a little public service announcement to any team playing Vicious and Delicious in the next couple weeks. Ban Mordekaiser if you're on red side and unless you want to pick it first. And ban Zac from Tefreakers, because that's 2 weeks in a row now. We have seen him absolutely take over a game with that champion.
Yeah, that champion is really underrated in my perspective. If that buff came around a little bit sooner when the tank champions were still more in favor, Zac would have been picked pretty much every game.
Yeah,
I'm pretty when Gragas was a thing and when Sejuani were popular. If Zac had that buff back then, I guess that's why he got buffed. Is because
it got used a little, Zingy,
a little bit.
Zingy was using it on Dignitas.
Yeah, Meteos.
Always a favorite champion.
A couple
Meteos.
times. Yeah, absolutely. So definitely.
Do you think we'll see it in Worlds at all?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're not going to see it.
All right.
Oh, wait. Did we already not see it? Did we?
I don't know.
I think it's been played a game. I honestly think it's been played a game.
All right, maybe it has.
I'm pretty sure it was played a game. I remember telling Ponox, who loves that champion, that it was being played, or someone did. So Zac's definitely been played, so maybe still viable.
Well, there we go. I haven't been waking up to watch most
That's
of the
okay.
games.
It's at 4 a.m.
I like my sleep.
Absolutely. So I guess we'll wrap things up, guys. Just an overall great series.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think just those guys have to hang their heads too much.
No.
The first game against
Do your homework next time.
Do your homework next time, but did the homework for game 2, and it paid off. Honestly, they were really close in this game until the 25-minute mark. So.
Yeah, impressive them for staying it against one of our top teams.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we're going to wrap things up, guys. I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors. HyperX, one of our main sponsors, doing a lot of prizing for the tournament, or the league rather. So check them out. They've got lots of awesome gear. Cloud 2 headsets.
Whoa.
Spoiler is one of the...
Not the Cloud 1.
Not the Cloud 1. The Cloud 2.
But also not the Cloud 9.
Also not the Cloud 9. Definitely check them out. We got all the links to our sponsors and stuff on our website. Matrix Gaming as well, one of the big sponsors for us. Our live finals held November 7th and 8th is going to be held at Matrix Gaming.
Those are coming up fast, Silky.
Absolutely. We're already in October. I can feel it. It's a month away.
You're right.
Oh my gosh. It's creeping up so
Today,
fast.
actually, or yesterday.
Yesterday.
Today, the 8th.
Today.
Today's the 8th.
Today
Yep.
is the 8th. So a month. Mark it on your calendars. A month from today. The live finals at Matrix Gaming. If you ever want to play on a computer and you don't have one in your vagina, go check them out. They have all great computers, brand new rigs, awesome stuff. As well, our last but not least sponsor, Widemouth Media. Anything you see on the stream, there. Look at all this overlay and stuff, all the fancy stuff, all the overlays, all the logos for the teams as well, and the website, all created by Widemouth Media. They're great. They do events. They do any kind of videos, they content creation, anything. They'll make your website, make you look pretty, make you look professional. Check them out.
They managed to make us look pretty somehow.
Yeah, a little, yeah, you know.
It's no easy task.
No easy task by any means. Make sure you check out our social media as well. On the side of the page over here, you can check out all our social media. Make sure you check out our website as well, skleague.ca, for upcoming schedule, upcoming games, all the stats, previous VODs as well.
Yeah.
You can check out our YouTube. It's all on the side here, so make sure you check that stuff out.
Hit us up on Twitter.
Twitter, all
Facebook,
the good stuff.
Reddit.
Yeah, it's below as well. If you just click the link below the stream, you can click on all that stuff. Make sure you like us. Maybe make sure you like our personal accounts, as you can see below over here. Yeah, look. Follow us on Twitter. We need more Twitter followers. We're talking ourselves pretty much on there. So
it's backwards. I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
Cameras, man.
Absolutely. I think we've been talking for a little bit long. So
yeah. Well, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Shout out to Ponox. He was with us for the first game but had to leave. The guy's he's an important guy. He's got lots of people wanting his attention, but he was nice enough to grace us with his presence for the first game. I have been Kevin Big Booty Bodie. This has been Carter Silky Mittens Asselford.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. It was real fun tonight.
It was real fun tonight.
I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Good. It was a great duo cast. It was nice having a partner tonight. I didn't have to do the whole
Solo
thing
cast.
myself tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
But be sure to tune in next week for the beginning of week 6, Thanksgiving Monday. We're coming at you with some games. It's going to be a good time, so we'll see you there.
Bye, guys.